Gaming Gladiators versus Aster game number 2. And Gaming Gladiators playing a bit on hard mode, Cinderin. They're going up against the Morphling, which is picked every game that we cast.
Yep.
The only time it loses is to AM, which they do not have because it was banned.
Yep.
It's instead a Bloodseeker TA, and TA has not done very well, at least when we've cast.
We've seen it lose pretty badly, and we've had a game where Pakaz did very well on it.
They've almost always lost.
But that was Pakaz playing it as a carry. In this game, it's mid, and the dynamic is definitely very different. So
they have a lot of refraction. Well, anybody that plays against TA will have refraction breakers now because of the Blood Grenade, but they also have Ion Shell.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that ends up going. Of course, it's really tough to beat a team that has a grab ally.
All right, gotta meet the quota. Getting in there early this game, talking about it minute 0, that's a record. We usually wait a few minutes, but really jumping the gun in this one.
I mean,
Pichu hasn't been prioritizing buying it.
Can I just say something, Cinderin?
No.
There were some rumblings on the panel yesterday. There was an interview had about how strong grab ally is.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, and first, I'm fine with it. If it needs to be nerfed, it needs to be nerfed.
Yeah.
Do not change it, though, inherently. It needs to remain, first of all, the name needs to remain grab ally, and it needs to continue to grab allies.
Okay.
But there's ways to balance it in a way that is fine for the game. But it's the coolest shard.
Ace is being bodied
Blood
here.
Grenade. One more right click will do it, or a decay. Oh my goodness, he lives.
How did he live? Oh, he used stick at the exact same time as he got decayed. Interesting.
Professional player or something.
Yeah, so yeah, we were brainstorming a little bit about possible ideas for nerfing this if it does come down to it, and suggestions that were made was lowering the amounts of health the tombstone has when someone's inside. There was a suggestion
that one's too weird. Next.
There was a suggestion that you couldn't exit whenever you wanted, but if you were grabbed, you had to stay inside for a fixed amount of time. Okay. So it was like Astral.
Yeah, that's a little better.
OD.
Yeah.
And then there was another suggestion, which was, what was it again? That it doesn't spawn zombies while there's an ally inside.
All right, I thought of a better one. As we're going to see the tombstone placed, Ace will be able to kill it off swiftly. And now Siamese Cat left with no mana. Okay, think about the idea. You're inside a tombstone.
Yeah.
Okay. There's two different things that can happen. This one suggestion is that zombies don't spawn anymore, which I forget who brought that up yesterday. That was a good suggestion, whoever that was. The second is, don't get to hold that thought because this is a really good one. I want you to pay attention, Sinner. I want to make sure there's not first blood.
Yeah.
As Sumail versus Quinn in the mid lane, looking a bit Quinn favored at this point. Although actually, no, more denies on Sumail, so he's doing quite well. You take damage in the tombstone.
Oh. And then instead of grab ally, it's called Iron Maiden. How about that?
No, it needs to be called. I said that was one of the conditions. It has to be grab ally.
Grab allied maiden.
If it does like X% HP% damage to your ally,
yeah,
then you don't want to stay in there too long.
So it should be called choke ally.
Yeah, that's okay. That one's acceptable. It needs to be something ally.
Got it. We've effectively talked about this for 2 minutes now while every lane is unfolding.
I mean, come on.
Celery will be fine. All right, back to grab ally. No, so yeah, this mid lane is historically a TA favored matchup. I think so far so good for Sumail, as you mentioned, keeping it even. But it starts getting harder and harder as refraction levels come up. The harassment gets stronger. The raw CSing becomes even easier for TA. You reach a point where you, for the most part, only keep getting CS with spells, whereas she's just constantly going to be racking up denies and whatnot.
Is there a situation with grab ally, Cinderin? I'm just kidding. Well, mid lane, we can see the CS is kind of even. I mean, did you say this is favored one way or the other?
Historically, it's definitely TA favored, and I would imagine it still is.
Okay. Bloodright gonna hit. And Dyrachyo trying to get some chip shots in, but Baboka will eventually be fine. He's getting a lot of value out of these attacks here from Dyrachyo. And how's the counters to Morphling this game? I think you talked about it, but then I started thinking about grab ally, so I wasn't really listening.
They don't have the best counters. I do think this is a potentially very good Morphling game. The bad news is Brood might become a big issue for them in general. They've picked the Spirit Breaker as a potential solution here to catch Brood out around on the map, but they don't have the best hero.
Early vacuum.
Nice vacuum.
Siamese Cat making an appearance. The Tombstone is killed by Celery. Gets off one final Fade Bolt, but yeah, the Dyrachyo kill pretty big for Aster.
That's definitely a nice one for them. The Darkseer was falling behind massively, which is very normal against Bloodseeker. It's not a good matchup for Darkseer in lane. Despite playing with Spirit Breaker, you can't really put enough pressure against the Rubik plus BS, but with the third hero, you can cross that threshold and get it done. So, yeah, that's definitely very nice for them. As far as countering Morph, Brood is obviously one of those heroes that can buy almost anything. We'll see if Ace goes right-clicker or if he wants to buy utility. There's merit to buying Hex this game on Brood against the Puck and Morph. It's a very valuable item. Orchid is also a possibility. I consider Hex a lot better against Morph in general, though, because Morphs inherently want to buy Manta anyway. So the Orchid definitely drops in value. But we might just see Ace go for the right-clicker build that we've seen a lot of from offlane Broods. You just get the Harpoon. And at that point, you can still go Harpoon Hex, or you can go Harpoon Bloodthorn. But again, then you're back to square one with the whole Manta situation. So.
Yeah. All right, so time will tell.
TA can also... It's not the worst mid-hero against Morph, because you have very explosive damage, right? That's the one thing Morph struggles with the most, is getting burst before you get to shift. So the TA Brood combination in particular, if there is a utility item on either of them, is very interesting for killing off.
Yeah, but Morphling will have a Gossamer Cape at that point soon.
Oh yeah, that's true. Forgot about that one.
Charge coming from very long away as Monet wants to get Ace a little bit lower. And we see the Blood Grenade Tombstone combo. Baboka will make the connection. Sticky Bomb into the blast off on the 2, but a dodge from Monet technically. They are going to be able to kill off Ace. It cost them Baboka. But Aster obviously happy with this.
That's pretty good. It was a 3v2, of course. Oh, vacuum. Dyrachyo's fast as fuck right now.
XXX
is dead as fuck right now.
All right. That's 2 F words in the same game from Synderin.
Yeah, this is not a PG-13 cast.
Well, the PG-13 F word's fine, actually, I think.
Only once, right?
No, you get... I think you get 2.
Oh.
In America.
2 specifically. You get it twice, okay.
And if it feels good, then maybe 3.
Yeah.
Accelerate, run into Baboka as the 7-minute Wisdom Rune is upon us, and Game and Gladiators get both. That never feels good.
Right,
as the bash is
Baboka?
Yep, 17% or so they tell me. Celery very focused right now on not dying.
Nice try.
But he will
go down to Baboka and aggroed the camp and tried to die to it, but Baboka with the charge took care of that.
I'm sure he got more experience from that Wisdom Rune.
Yeah.
As we have a coil mid, but not a ton of follow-up. And he's just going to snap it, actually. Yeah. Not sure what that was about from Aster. There's Sumail. Has to be careful. He's used most of his... Okay. Trap is going to be there. Blast off as well. Sumail gets bursted. Didn't have any spells left, but here's a charge from Baboka to try to get a cleanup onto Quinn, and they will do so. So at least they get the trade. Tofu will be going down as well.
It is still Quinn that gets the kill first in the corner.
Sumail gets nothing out of that.
Sumail was already 1,000 behind the TA, and that's obviously not going to change since he was not the beneficiary of any of that. He was not the givee, as some would say.
Sounds like a smart person to say that.
Very. Definitely a one-of-a-kind person, I'll say that.
It makes speech much more intuitive and efficient.
Yes.
But yeah, that coil into nothing, I mean, that's kind of what we've been seeing with Aster in the fights, like in team fights. That's the first time we've seen like an isolated incident there. I'm not sure what happened.
I think Sumail might have felt a little bit pressured that he was going to get dove by the TA and he wanted to cover himself and set up the charge. But it just, again, it wasn't clean in its execution. It was a bit too slow. No D-ward here. Nicely done by Aster to cover that with their Spirit Breaker Puck combo and get the kill on Celery. Don't think they're going to be able to do any meaningful damage to this bot tower for a while, though. Tofu The Techies is a very good hero at defending towers. You just keep throwing in sticky bombs and damaging the wave, and you can blast off if necessary, of course. Now he's kind of letting them, though. Duracho will gate to top. Not really sure what the plan is. He went through a ward, by the way, so Aster know exactly what's coming their way.
Yep.
Maybe he's just going there to farm because bottom is too dangerous.
Yeah, Celery's been running into a lot of enemies this game.
Yeah, he respawned. He was like, being dead was fun last time, so I want to go there again. And probably found the fastest possible way to die in the map there. I don't think he could have died any faster than that.
I think so too. Siamese Cat getting chased by Quinn now. Onto the high ground he goes. It won't be enough for a kill. But still, again, dying. Not a whole lot he can do there. And Ace is left all alone in this top lane, and as a Brood, that makes you very happy.
Yeah, this is the biggest issue of the draft for me right now for Aster, is solving Ace, because Spirit Breaker Darkseer, I like it as a possible solution, but I do think they're going to be depending on Sumail to really keep that Brood down in this game.
Oh my, Flesh Golem was placed, Tombstone as well, anticipating some sort of a fight here. You have the Rupture, Coil from Sumail, who is ruptured. Blast Off does finish off Siamese Cat. And a Coil providing a lot of cover. Oh my god, he actually snaps it. Duracho just dies because of it. He's just too fast for his own good.
Did he snap it himself, or did he get Greater Bashed out? I think he snapped it.
I think he ran in himself. Yeah.
I think so too. Pretty sure that was an avoidable death there from Duracho. Just ran a little too fast, like you said. Sometimes... What's that called in English, the thing you have in the car where you can see how fast you're driving?
Speedometer?
Oh, it is called speedometer, actually. I was going to say, if you don't have that one, it's a bit hard to tell how fast you're going, and you're going to see it here.
Let's see here.
So, fighting back.
Yeah, he just runs.
just...
Wait, that was another strike too, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't sure if he got Greater Bashed out of it, but I don't think so, because it was the other way, so he would have been knocked back.
This is Quinn during the fight, of course. Hands off keyboard. Celery goes down in the bot lane. Duracho trying to get some sort of revenge, but ain't happening.
Dude, Celery is... more dead than alive, it feels like, in this game.
Yeah.
The last 3 minutes, he's probably been alive for 30% of the time.
That's, sounds about right.
He respawns, runs back to lane, and gets ganked. Over and over by the Spirit Breaker.
Is that considered a gank? If he's just there?
Well, I guess that's fair.
Celery was the one ganking, if anything. The ganky, some would say.
Yeah, some definitely would say that.
So if we're getting charged,
very few select one person in the world would say that.
Will not be followed up. Celery has the illusory orb right now.
Still, despite these kills, and that's the one thing that they're getting out of this. I mean, sure, you keep killing Celery, but I don't think he minds the deaths that much because of the bigger picture.
Oh, another strike will be completed, and the bash on top of it. Celery gets off a telekinesis and dies again.
Seriously, just... he's just sponging up everything. This is 4th death in 3 minutes, it feels like, but Aster are not progressing their game. That's the thing. Like, these deaths are inconsequential. It doesn't really matter. Both Brood and TA are totally free farming. So he's honestly just drawing attention to himself. And this is something Celery is really good at on certain heroes. I wouldn't say Rubik is one of the better ones for it.
All right, can we get a Celery cam now that he's alive again? Let's see where he's going.
Yeah.
Okay, let's follow him around. Make sure you don't miss a kill, though, at the same time.
Okay, I just saw his comms there. I'm good at lip reading. He's like, where are they? I'm going there. Okay, they're bottom.
Yeah. All right, here I come. Get ready, guys. I'm going to die.
He's really good at this on Ench, but on Rubik, you don't have the same leeway. And
it feels weirder that it's on a Rubik, right?
Exactly. The hero for doing this is weird, because there's definitely better choices if you want to play Sacrificial 5, Scouting and Dying. You know, the really classic ones would be Ench and Bounty Hunter. Because it's like, with Bounty, at least the enemy team has to buy sentries, and you still get good information. You might get a track off before you die. And
charge up top. Ace is getting gone on. XXS has made his way over here along with Sumail, so this will be an easy cleanup for Aster. For once, they're not killing Celery.
Yep.
But Celery, I'm sure, is close to traversing his way towards them. Yeah, he notices that they're on the other side of the map and now is on his way.
They caught on to the strategy. Now Celery has to adapt. The map has been flipped. Celery, a faster way to go die top is to take the Twin Gate. You could have run straight through 2 wards up there and been discovered.
Game induced smoke, and it looks like they want to fight. And Celery's like, wait, let me die first, then you can start the fight. But they're just chilling in the mid lane, waiting for Sumail to potentially show up. Illusory Orb. He actually used Phase Shift as well.
Oh, Tofu's going to offer himself up here.
Yep, not as juicy as Celery, though. So Sumail will not take the bait.
That's a good question. I feel like I would way rather have Tofu than Celery, if you ask me. But Sumail with a different palette.
They both sound terrible to me, but, you know, I am American after all.
You have a very limited palette, as Brian would say.
Yeah, maybe if Tofu was, you know, just smothered in barbecue sauce.
Deep-fried tofu.
Oh, okay, maybe.
There we go. Now we're on to something.
With a side of Twinkies, of course. That's the American classic.
That makes no sense. A side of Twinkie.
Yep, that's my side.
Okay, have you ever been to a restaurant that offered that as a side?
In America, probably. Oh, we have the Flesh Golem and the Tombstone on the high ground.
It's a lot of zombies.
Not sure what spooked him exactly, but Celery, he's going to be able to take the Ion Shell. And the coil reserved for Mr. Ace. So a good kill from Aster. But at the very least for gaming, they don't lose more than one.
And you can definitely tell a difference in flow, right? Because they're playing TA mid. It is a different style of Dota that you end up playing because your mid hero is not active in the same way. It's way more dependent on other heroes setting it up for success. It's way more farm heavy. So Quinn needs some time here compared to when he's playing any of his spirit heroes or the Queen of Pain from the last game. So Aster are taking some advantage of that by just running at people with numbers, and then Gaming Gladiators, until they get key items, can't really fight back. I don't think without BKB or without some serious damage item on the TA that Quinn has any business showing up, so I think it's a good call from him to not get involved.
Now, since we mentioned it, Celery hasn't died, and I think it's because he stole Ion Shell and realized he can now farm.
Yeah.
And now maybe he's worth the gold that it takes for, or the time that it takes Aster to actually group up and kill him.
Yeah, he's able to just split push effectively here.
Yeah, Baboka we can see on the other side of the tree line.
I think he's going past Pavis on the Rubik, right? So no, he's going Yules.
By the Watcher.
Interesting. Going Yules against the Spirit Breaker obviously makes a lot of sense here for Celery, but he has the Void Stone.
Oh, Baboka found at the gate, and yeah.
Yep, that's a
bulldoze won't be enough.
Straight up immediate Dezo payoff. Gets 2 stacks on that.
Yeah,
is this 2 stacks or 1 stack?
It's 2 per stack.
So it's 1 stack.
Well, but you can say 2 stacks. I'm fine with that. Either way, the Desto opens up Roche potential as well, so Aster gonna have to be very careful of that.
It's hard to fight into Roche for both teams in a way, because Gaming Gladiators are really good at killing it with the TA as well as the Brood in the area. And Brood is also part of the reason that it's hard for Aster to access the fight and fight back, is that there's going to be Spiderlings, there's going to be mines that they have to sort out. But if they do get set up, Aster's lineup is incredible in a Roche fight. Vacuum Wall, Spirit Breaker Charge, Tombstone, Coil. Yep. So many good teamfight tools in Aster's arsenal, but they're all dependent on getting vision. And I think that's going to be their biggest challenge in this game, is finding a way of accessing a fight on their terms. It was something they struggled a lot with yesterday, or sorry, in the previous game and in the tournament in general in Phase 2 here.
I like this move.
Has been their ability to get vision information and take good fights. But yeah, they won't have to if they're just the ones killing the Roche. This is huge.
This is very big.
And looks like Gaming don't know this is happening, and even if they do know, they're not interested in taking this fight. So TA really wants this one.
Yep, they scan out, so now they know. And nice regrets were had.
Now with the Manta style as well for Monet, he gets a much better counterplay against TA. He will be able to break out of the TA shard, and he'll be able to break Refraction way more effectively with 2 illusions of himself. I wonder who he's going to turn into in this game on Monet, if he's going to prioritize becoming the TA or the Bloodseeker. His Blood Rage and Blood Right are 2 really good abilities, but you're not going to say no to Refraction and Meld either. He's buying up the Ags. And I guess the one good piece of news about that is both enemy targets are good, so you're not reliant on finding one specific guy. Stealing stats from either Bloodseeker or TA is great.
Who would you rather be, though?
I feel like the TA is probably mostly going to be better, especially because Gaming Gladiators actually don't deal very well with Refraction. It's really good to have Refraction against TA herself. It's really good against Bloodseeker.
Yeah, true.
And also against techies. Like, you might just block 2 full mines, right? Or blast off or whatever.
There's the first Gossamer Cape.
All right, very good. Paboka will get that. I think this item is going to get removed. That's my,
you think
my
so,
call.
huh?
Yeah.
I could see it.
Or just redesigned.
Not just nerfed.
How would you nerf it? It's a very binary item, right? Like, what would it do?
That is the problem. There's not many variables with it.
It's like you can remove or reduce the movement speed, but it's the guaranteed dodge. You can make it 50% chance, and it's just... What's that called? Cheating death from artifact all over again.
Everybody loved that one.
Yeah, that was a great card.
No, Monet will secure the tier 2 top. And we're about to hit 20 minutes. And now that they have control of at least this segment of the map, they could theoretically try to steal the Tormentor. But I keep saying that every game, and it rarely happens. But they are pinging it.
Yeah. I have good heroes for it, so no reason not to. Ace rocking the BKB. Very, very interested to see his next item of choice. I think there's a lot of good options here. You could go for raw damage and just really be a teamfight threat in terms of damage output. You could get the control from Nullifier against Darkseer and against the Spirit Breaker, or you could get a Hex, as we talked about. You could get the Nullifier, or sorry, the Bloodthorn. There's a lot of different choices that each have their appeal.
Oh, we did it.
It's difficult to choose. He is going for... He's going for the Harpoon first, so pretty standard.
Grab allies available, Cinder. Oh, I don't know if you're aware.
Oh, I'm sure if I wasn't aware that somebody would tell me immediately.
Charge onto Tofu. Paboka. They do have vision. Siamese Cat comes in with that Flesh Golem. XXS as well, but there's the Rupture onto Baboka. The grab ally is there again. Vac Wall onto 2. They will kill the Tombstone and Baboka shortly after. So the grab ally not really making much of a difference. Delays it a bit.
Brood is good against the Tomb. It's definitely something that's going to matter in these fights, is that you might save a hero, and usually that feels really good because the enemy team needs so long to break that Tombstone with their attacks, but Spiderlings can take it down relatively quickly and isolate that target, which is what happened there. This tower...
This is against Aegis. This does not feel like a team that's fighting against Aegis right now with the confidence that they have.
Yeah.
Normally you will play very passive, but if they in turn can fight here somehow...
They're going to back off now that there's a respawn on the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, and that should open up Aster to take their Tormentor if they really want to get it, but first they're going to focus on Tofu. Gets off the mech, but will die. And once the Aegis was claimed, the lead has not really gone down for gaming. It's been 3K, I feel like, for quite a while.
Yeah, they're still getting a lot out of the map. They're just... I mean, this is something this team just does very well, is farm. And it's a big part of the meta that's developing right now. The games are a little bit more slow, so it is important to have 3 cores that can all find those creeps on the map. Sumail.
Gossamer.
That was Quinn, not Sumail. I don't know why I keep calling Quinn Sumail and Sumail Quinn, but eventually we'll get there.
You're doing great.
And in 2 days... there will not be any more Sumail in the tournament, so then I won't get that wrong.
Unless somebody picks them up mid-tournament again.
Oh, that's true. Again.
Well, yeah, I guess, well, Berlin Major, I guess it wasn't in the middle of the tournament, but he was standing in theory. Imagine
you're just one of the really, like, you're an iconic Dota player, you go there for fun, for like holiday, you're just there in the crowd, and then it's like, oh, Sumail's here. Hey, you're kicked. We're getting Sumail.
I wouldn't blame him. Tofu getting charged. Tombstone on the cliff right now. Not sure how that interacts with Grab Ally. We'll get to that in just a moment, of course. Oh, the focus is on Sumail, who's silenced right now, but there's the Vac Wall. Sumail's going to live a little bit longer. The charge comes in, does connect onto Quinn. Gaming Gladiators lose their techies. They lose Ace, but Sumail finally dies after all that focus.
Quinn's
and
not
Quinn getting chased.
Too early.
Yeah, the waveform in from Monet. Double kill for him, so it's a 3-for-1.
And that was a really good Tombstone placement, and Ace is committing his entire fight to it.
Very sad.
He has to walk up, pop BKB, use his Spider Army, and yes, he does take down the Tomb, but it leaves the rest of his team vulnerable there. And that was a better outcome for Aster than I was expecting there, to be honest. Great Vac Wall from XXS. He set it up nicely.
I think
Monet turned into Brood, which I found interesting.
Yeah. Siamese Cat grab allied himself on the cliff and then was stuck on the cliff.
Yep.
I just wanted to mention that.
Yep.
in case you missed it.
Oh, well, I don't know why. Did he have to grab himself?
No. Brood goes up there with him, too.
Well, okay, so Ace was hitting the... Oh, that's what... Okay, I think...
Very awkward cliff fight, actually.
I think Ace didn't actually mean to be hitting the Undying to begin with. I think he hit him instead of the Tombstone, because it doesn't seem like a high-value play to start hitting the Undying there. I think you get rid of the Tomb and then you start fighting the course with your allies, but...
No, without the Aegis, Gaming Gladiators now looking to pounce on Aster. And we can see Monet, by far the top net worth in the game, but the next 3 on Gaming Gladiators. But I think the separation, I mean, I guess the Spirit Breaker's not a core. I was going to say he's quite far down there, but actually he's farming quite well for a support.
Yeah. And that hero is amazing with farm. There's many games where a Spirit Breaker position 4 can output insane damage. It's a lot of CC and very reliable too. They've had to buy the Yules and Rubik as a potential solution, but ultimately when the Spirit Breaker gets big enough, that's not going to cut it. He's going to get a BKB. He's going to get the Shadow Blade that he already has, but he's not going for BKB. He's actually going for Halberd here. I thought it was going to be Ags or BKB, but obviously Halberd. Awesome against the TA, so I don't mind it. Opting to...
Smoke from Aster.
Smoke here.
Dyrachyo showing the blood right, so they know that he's probably in this area.
He's been very
might run right into them. He's going to get bashed up and immediately killed. Big one for Aster. Dyrachyo dead for a full minute. Quinn just very animated. Every time a teammate dies, just...
He's really, truly mastered that he can do it identically every time. That's incredible.
It's a skill. Sumail showing himself. He's actually completely alone.
He has Puck, though, with Yules. A very difficult hero to kill.
Yeah, Monet looking to at least pressure the top tower a bit.
Blood Raged Morph.
And he's going to get Fade Bolted, which is nice. Minus attack percent damage. Grab ally will be used for some reason. I think he forgot that you could enter it.
What?
I think he was just trying to right-click away. He's just trying to run.
His own
Ace, he's going to get charged. That's going to cancel the TP despite being BKB'd. Will snap the coil, but now gets Nether struck onto the high ground. Kind of an awkward engagement for Aster. But the waveform, they have enough mobility to find him. And hey! Yep, Quinn, again, just masterful with those reactions. And now XXS is going to get the shard.
Yep.
And that is the Surge. Oh, that's the weird one. It's like almost like a dispersion, kind of.
It's extra good against TA, though, right? Because it deals damage instances.
Does it?
Yeah, it deals 35 damage per second.
Oh.
The trail. So if you have heroes running through TA now, that's even more refraction breaking, and that is going to become more and more relevant if TA hits level 25. Obviously, way ahead of ahead of ourselves on that, but this does seem like the kind of game that has the potential to go pretty late. Because Gaming Gladiators are absolutely not running over Aster this time around.
It is a bit concerning from Aster's side that they have 19 kills versus the 8, and they're up 1k, though.
Yeah.
I will say. But if, I mean, these fights have been going Aster's way time and time again for this game. But we haven't really had a good old-fashioned true team fight yet.
And we really haven't seen much of Bloodseeker, and I mean...
Well, Gaming Gladiators, they want to contest this. They smoke, and they are actually somewhat near. Tombstone inside. And you can see Sumail is going to pop the smoke. Will they get there in time? Roche is starting to get pretty low. They're actually going to exit the pit for the time being. Quinn jumps in. He wants to take it. He snatches the Aegis. They actually let him do that. Sumail does get the cheese. Dyrachyo continuing to chase Monet as Quinn just stuck in the pit perpetually, apparently. Has the Mjolnir applied to him. Now a big blast off on the 4 from Tofu. He pops the mech, but Dyrachyo will fall. That's the first big hero to die for either side. And Celery continuing to get chased, but Quinn in a pretty good spot can just right-click from afar. Now in a 1v1 battle with Monet, who turns into the Spider. Refraction still active for Quinn. And Monet just has to walk over a bunch of mines. As the reset is here, so only 2 supports dead for Aster. As Gaming Gladiators with the Aegis advantage now.
Yeah. Aster did recover the cheese, though, and they did get the Roche kill, so not all that bad, but as you said, maybe there was a way there to not get that Aegis snatched, which is the saving grace for Gaimin, to not turn that into a full-blown loss. Quinn just goes for it here. Gets that Aegis snatch.
That's without a BKB.
Yep.
Goes in there, doesn't even get stunned.
Yeah, that's true. It feels like they might have been able to do something about that, but... Yeah, nice blast off there from Tofu. But still, not too bad for Aster once again. Samel. No coil.
Yep, he's chasing the Aegis Quinn. Charge onto Ace, though, as he traverses to the high ground, the waveforming, killing a bunch of these spiders. And they're going to kill the big spider as well, as Quinn now melded up, but they see him. Aegis goes down. And you'd have to think with the surround that they're going to be able to take him down a second time. So nice job from Aster as the lead has ballooned to 6K. Surprised they stuck around so long.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know what the idea that was there for Gaimin with staying there. Maybe they felt safe that Aster didn't have the vision, or they were trying to assassinate someone if they stepped up a little bit too far, but Aster just playing a bit tighter this game, staying together, taking the initiative, and I really think... So this is... Maybe I'm reading a bit too much into this, but if they're from a coaching perspective talking about the communication issues and being uncertain about what to do, you know what kind of hero says, let's go? That's Spirit Breaker.
Yep.
That is literally the #1 hero in Dota to rally behind, just get in there.
Coil.
He has Yules.
Phase shift was stolen. Yules is going to delay things again, but Celery... Oh, phase shift again. He's really delaying this.
Phasing. Oh, he almost had another one.
Celery will eventually die, and
No
now
buyback.
the buildings start to fall. Quinn not happy. His team is letting him down over and over again. And now this is going to be a set of racks for Aster. Quinn looking for the tombstone kill, but will have to back away as Aster will successfully get that and retreat. Still a tier 2 bottom and mid, so not going to stick around any further. And of course they still have that cheese on Monet.
He's a tough nut to crack. Gaimin don't seem to have the solutions for Morph.
Shocker.
They did not have the Anti-Mage. And the Anti-Mage is what they need.
Bloodseeker with the shard, so you have the percentage-based pure damage on the right clicks.
You need the lockdown. The problem here is that Bloodseeker in theory can do a lot of damage, but Puck is elusive, Darkseer is elusive, Morph is elusive, and what's your lockdown really, right?
Yeah.
You don't truly have a way of keeping them in place very long.
We're gonna have a fight here. A big vacuum wall onto 3 from Gaming Gladiators. Quinn is dead. My goodness, they're just stuck here perpetually. So finally the Surge is stolen, which will get Celery out of here, but that's 2 kills for Aster. And Gaming Gladiators now on the back foot. This is going to cost them quite a bit. 45 seconds of no Quinn, no buyback, so this will be the tier 2.
That insatiable hunger on Morph is actually insane when you think about it. And he doesn't even have the shard, right?
That's true. That's true.
Crazy damage Monet is getting out of this.
Baboka wants to go in, gets Yules. But while this is happening, the buildings are going down quite fast to Monet. Fortification activated. Quinn's back up in 15 seconds. But this tower at the very least will be down, or will go down. Tombstone is placed, which indicates Aster probably want to continue to fight this. I don't see why not, still with that cheese for Monet. He's going to get ruptured. They have grab ally, of course. And there's the coil onto several heroes. Dyrachyo pops the BKB. Another beautiful vacuum, but no wall to follow it up with this time. Monet has to pop the cheese this time. Lots of damage being applied to him. The Spirit Breaker does fall. Darkseer was inside the tombstone. They finally get Monet, as the rest of Aster now on the run. So Mail, do they have the lockdown? They have the silence with the trap. Gets off the Yules. Now he's surrounded. Phase shift.
He doesn't have spells ready.
Mine placed underneath him. He's lifted and brought down. So a successful defense there from Gaming Gladiators.
Was it too good to be true? With that push from Aster, that is such a huge loss. Like, they were looking so good. They're really feeling themselves. They waveform in with Rupture on the morph. So you see here from Monet, he has the cheese. He's going to waveform in and try to go to town on Duracho, but he gets off the BKB. He gets to reset. Gets a lot of life back from the Spirit Breaker kill here. And Monet can't get out now. He just committed deep into the tier 4s next to all the enemy heroes, and that is just flat out a blunder from Aster that's going to cost them 6,000 to 7,000 gold, a mid tower. So they worked so hard to build this advantage, and now it feels like they just dropped, yeah, almost everything they've accomplished. I mean, sure, they still have Elena Barracks, but you got to keep in mind the flow of the game, right? These Radiant heroes now will reach certain breaking points that they were possibly not going to. That's a 10k gold swing right there.
The lead has been deleted.
Yep, the entire lead's gone. And this does mean some items are going to come out for Gaimin. And as we talked about, they don't have the best lockdown, but with this amount of influx in gold, they might be able to cover their weaknesses. They get the Hexnir and the Brood, and obviously more damage to come from the TA to offset this Morphling's initial... They should be able to actually just cut through him if they get a good Hex timing. He will die in very short time against the Bloodseeker as well as TA. Duracho will be going for Scotty with his completed Ags. How many items did they just get from this? That's crazy.
Greaves now. Yeah, that was one of the biggest swings of the tournament, I think.
What a graph. That's rare. This looks crazy.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, can we see the graph, please? The graph?
Roche might be up in 15 seconds. These teams don't know.
All right, so I'll try to explain the graph for you guys.
Yeah, illustrate it for us.
It goes down.
There it is.
That is maybe the steepest.
Yeah, that's really.
That is extremely steep on the XP. Holy.
Up charge. They're going to catch Tofu right off the bat. He has his grease. We'll be able to get it off. He does, but will die shortly after. Staying alive quite a while.
Decent damage done.
Yep. Rupture is applied, and they delete Siamese Cat. It's a 1-for-1. Duracho focusing on the tombstone. They'll get it, so no grab available anymore for Aster. BKB from Duracho. He's just man-fighting Monet. 1v1. Now the illusions come out. He's trying to get away, but the blood mist is too much. Double kill for Duracho, and the rest of Aster likely to try to run away. Exodus, did he just blink into that? I think he did, and he will pay the price. But Boca trying to save his teammate. It's like, what are you doing, good sir?
Maybe he was hoping to get a vac wall and then comboed with the puck, but was dealt with quickly. It's falling apart for Aster.
Well, the good news for them, Roche is a longer spawn, so a minute 40 seconds, so Gaimin are going to have to push the lanes and wait for that big old juicy Roche a little bit later. Yeah, man, thought Aster... They were looking good.
This kill on Tofu is actually taking so long. He does a ton of damage before dying. He gets off like 3 mines. He gets off a nice disarm as well. They find the Rupture on Monet. They break the Tombstone with Duracho. And while Samel is off fighting in the side, this is very disconnected from Aster once again, right? Like the puck is doing his thing.
Yeah.
But puck doesn't matter if Morphling and Darkseer aren't combining with this play. So Samel uses all his cooldowns, but no follow-up from the teammates.
And this...
I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to do a vac wall. Just got silenced.
Yep.
But even if you get that off, I don't know.
That would not have worked. I just think that play doesn't exist, personally.
So maybe it's for the best that he didn't get it off, because they could use it now.
I suppose.
38 seconds for Roche.
They have to be, Aster have to be more wary of this Hex. It's really a big problem. Monet cannot get caught in a Hex and killed off like that by the TA again. Easier said than done, though. Especially with the vision inferiority you're going to have the entire time. Spiderlings, mines, TA traps. Gaimin will know what's up.
Yep, Spider scouting things out. Gaimin are now smoked up. There's the Harpoon initiation from Ace, and you can see the right click. Some big vac wall finally comes in, but BKBs galore. The coil was the follow-up as well. And this is a lot of damage being applied to Gaimin now. They're still stuck in this area. And that's going to be the death of Quinn. We'll have to buy back instantly and get back here to try to get Roche. 3 buybacks, in fact, from Gaimin Gladiators. Duracho kind of left alone for the time being while his teammates try to reconnect. pops the BKB, although wasn't actually getting chased. And now the Harpoon comes in from Ace. He's reconnected to this fight. He almost gets insta-given and just dies. Will buy back finally as the Blood Mist doing some damage, but it's not going to be nearly enough as Sumail finishes off the triple kill. And the big deal for Gaming Gladiators is that Dyrachyo does not have buyback here.
What the hell is going on?
I mean, we'll see what the graph looks like in a couple minutes after this one, but...
Yeah, I'm genuinely very surprised that Gaming Gladiators went for the Undying to begin with. I think this team usually has a very good grasp of what fights are clever to take, but they literally just balled up, ran into the Undying, hexed him, and opened on him. That's the dream scenario for Aster. You're going to see the replay here. So Hex Harpoon, you're just setting up the Spirit Breaker charge, you're setting up the Vac Wall. Beautifully done here from XXS as well, but yeah, they just got baited really hard, and Aster got to combine all of their spells beautifully. They kill off multiple heroes, and this is one thing. This is definitely not great for gaming, but now that you're buying back and you're still just gonna run in additional heroes and die more, like, you could cut your losses here and be like, okay, this sucks. Dyrachyo could maybe BKB. He got TP'd out here, right? But he's still sticking around with Ace. They're trying for this kill on the Morph, not even remotely close to getting it, and they end up both dying from trying this play. Just some really questionable shot calling all around here.
Yeah, very sloppy.
Not be happy with that. Wow, it looks like we've got another 6 flags graph on our hands, Shen, and I think this one is outside of category. I think this one wouldn't pass. I'm not sure what the regulations authority for something like this is, but yeah, that looks lethal.
Yeah, Aster back with a 7K lead, just where they left off a few minutes ago. Nothing's really changed since then. Another strike from Baboka. Celery has a lot of HP because he stole the attribute shift earlier. 3,200 HP Rubik.
That's the Trickster Cloak. Never used it. Do they have gem there? He was dusted. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Quinn. Every death. Every death. Another little
That's a 90-second no Rubik. That's really big. Celery died outside the base. No buyback. No buybacks at all, as a matter of fact, for Gaming Gladiators. They burnt everything on that roast
Yeah,
fight.
they sure did. Rupture's there. Dyrachyo pops the BKB, wants to fight, walks right into the wall, but a big charge comes out to control Quinn. Dyrachyo kind of left alone to try to get a kill here. Grab ally used onto the Morphling. He's going to walk off the Rupture.
Dyrachyo's mega fast.
And Ace, he's getting pursued in the trees, and the last right click's enough for Monet. Basically a dieback from Ace. And the charge in. Quinn, he's going to get solo coiled by Sumail. We'll pop the BKB in response, but now the buildings are in peril as Gaiman left with just 3 members right now. Sumail, he's still silenced. We have the charge in. Monet, he's going in deep. Nice vacuum again onto 3. Not able to get any follow-up this time. But either way, it creates enough space for Aster to likely get these buildings uncontested, although Gaiman trying to make it hard on him.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under.
Charge onto Quinn. Oh my god, that's a lot of mines on Baboka, but he will live through the day. And now the focus is onto Quinn. Dyrachyo, he gets 1 kill, that's the Aegis. And the silence is just decimating Sumail over and over again. Tombstone's placed, wall was placed. And now they're going for the mid set of racks, and this will be mega creeps for Aster.
Not the cleanest from either team here. Gotta say, this has been one of the scrappier games we've had all tournament. I think a lot of mistakes all around, but Aster are pulling significantly ahead now. Finally able to get the megas first of all, but also don't end up having to expending any buybacks here, and that's the really big deal here. Is Gaming Gladiators, if they want to go for a Hail Mary play down mid, they're not only fighting 5 heroes, there's 2 buybacks currently available, the Darks here as well as the Spirit Breaker, and more to come. Puck almost has the gold.
Aster really prioritizing these shards today. Sumail will get his, which it's not the Waning Rift one anymore, right? Or is it?
Phase shift attack.
Oh yeah, the old talent, of course.
Not particularly great.
And Gaiman finally will take their Tormentor. It is Aces this time. And for this build, it's not pure right click, it's just Harpoon. Since he went Sheep, more utility.
This shard is particularly crazy when you have crit. but nowhere near that currently on Spider Mama.
So how much chances do you give Game in this game? 3 buybacks in the game right now.
I feel like it's so hard to say because I have like my theoretical point of view, and then I have my, I feel like I need to divide it by something because Aster just has moments, right? Like, I don't know how safe they feel, but I guess it's fair to say that with how they've lost some of their fights and some of their games in the past, there is a real possibility that Aster mess up, overextend, get too bloodthirsty, and get punished really hard. So they need to keep playing controlled, maybe wait for the next Roche, so they really mount their advantages and get it done. But like, just strictly, if there were no team names on this and you gave me this game state, it's like, I don't know, it's like 95-5 probably for the Dire or something like this.
That's pretty high still. 5.
Yeah, there's, you know, we're late enough into the game that the Radiant lineup can snowball the fight crazily with the Bloodseeker. So.
Aster, they want to go in here. Charge onto Quinn. Follow up by Monet. He's going to pop the BKB. All the focus is on this TA, but Quinn able to get out. He's fine. And Dyrachyo, he's going to try to go for Monet instead with that Blood Mist activated. They're getting the sheep off. Is this a dead Morphling? It's going to be close. He gets off the Manta. He's getting harpooned back in by Ace, and they do kill him. Will have the buyback available if he wants to reconnect in this fight. And now the focus is on the big fat cow, which they will eat up. Delicious burger for Dyrachyo and company. XSS, he's going to die as well. It's a 1 for 3 in favor of Game and Gladiators. And Siamese Cat actually able to TP out, and Sumail, he's going to get focused, silenced again, and killed again. That was a double wall. Does he have, was that a stolen wall? I guess so, because he doesn't have Refresher. Wait, he had Refresher Shard, though. Okay, he did use it.
I didn't notice. I just started watering at the mouth out of the Spirit Breaker burger.
I'm really hungry.
Yeah, but that's case in point. This is what can happen. They push without their Aegis advantage. They go really hard commit here onto Quinn, but don't have enough in the tank to get him. And Dyrachyo just gets to absolutely go to town on Monet here. Pops BKB, Blood Mist, just bashing the crap out of him. And then right after, Delicious Burger.
Yeah, it was a stolen wall, and he used Refresher.
Yeah.
So there's 3 walls there. I guess
a lot of walls.
Yeah.
And
I guess I should have known it was stolen because it's the one that doesn't have a cosmetic.
Now after this fight, Quinn...
That's the sign of Pi, those walls.
Huh. Quinn finds level 25. He's going to be a way harder to kill now. Refraction.
Yep.
7 charges.
Good one.
The silver lining for Aster is they have amazing ways of breaking those charges, as we've talked about. Morphling Manta, Ion Shell.
Where's the blood grenades at, Cinder?
Wall.
Siamese Cat needs to have a blood grenade.
I mean, that's 10k down the drain. This game is dead even on gold. Obviously still very Aster favored from the mega creeps, but Uncle Gaben is starting to see a glimmer of hope here. He was down to 1%, now he's up to 7.
Yeah.
Oh, if they lose a 99-1 game, Shannon, that would be...
Sumail might just leave the country.
Oh. He could take a flight together with Winter. They're going on a holiday together.
Yeah, what was the update on that? Did they rebook that flight?
I don't know. He might have gone on camera and lied. I don't know.
Oh boy. Dyrachyo has the Abyssal Blade now. Ooh. Okay. So we have Wind Waker on Sumail.
That's big, because they need a way to protect Monet. I think this is a very intelligent item purchase, because the way these fights are breaking out, Dyrachyo will pop literally everything and just go to town on the Morph. And if they can keep him nice and safe and healthy and make the BKB expire, they get to reset and handle the situation. The Abyssal will make it even better to have that Wind Waker for Sumail there to cover.
Roche up in 40 seconds.
Swift Blink completed as well for TA, so that massive burst of attack speed and movement speed when he jumps in. Stick on the target as well. I mean, honestly, this core duo of TA and Bloodseeker in super late game is stupidly strong at bursting heroes. Like, you gotta be... Aster have to be on their toes. They need to do a good Wind Waker. They need to grab ally like they've never grabbed each other before.
Consensual, of course.
Yes. Absolutely. You get a... When you use grab ally with the tombstone, you get a pop-up window. Would you like to be grabbed?
Yes, please. I will always say yes to grab ally.
Yes.
Until it's nerfed and you take damage, then maybe. All right, Roche is up. It'll be another refresher shard.
Look at that damage. My goodness. That's Bloodseeker in action.
This will be a free one for Aster. So
they
have Mega Creeps, they have Aegis, they have Cheese, they have Refresher Shard.
What do you put the shard on?
I think XXS is the best. You could have double grab ally though, so I don't know. That's pretty tough to pass up.
Oh yeah, you could just juggle the same ally between 2 tombstones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if the cooldown you get, because you can't re-enter the tomb.
There's no way it's shared. No way.
So you think you can enter the other one?
Yes.
I think it's a debuff that gets placed on your hero.
I doubt it.
Huh? Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
You couldn't be wrong. It's a lot of traps. That's a lot of mines. We got anything else going on?
Yeah, we have a 60-minute game, I think.
Oh, it's 49, so...
Yeah, I actually think we're going to get there, though.
Okay.
Genuinely.
That's a prophecy here. I'm not disagreeing. I think it's entirely possible. But at the same time, win or lose here, Aster also are at risk of this going very fast, to be honest. Because if they fail a push, the lineup of Gaming Gladiators can wipe out the map in the blink of an eye if they get to their base. So, still not safe at all. And pushing into this, I mean, this is... Sure, you might have Mega Creeps, but this entire base is just plastered with shit everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just mines, traps, spiderlings. You know, you're going to run into Bloodright, you're going to run into Fade Bolt, you're going to run into Sticky Bomb.
I'm a little surprised that Sumail hasn't bought a second Dispel, even like a BKB. He's been getting silenced. Every death is a silence from a trap.
Yeah.
It feels like.
That's fair.
I
think Aeon Disc might also be a possible pickup.
Yeah.
Do they have a single nullifier on the side of Gaimin? I don't think so, which
Probably
is actually very rare. But they have 3 right-clicker cores and no nullifier. Quite unusual. And that will obviously come very much in handy against that Wind Waker, so we might see them buy one.
Well,
if they can
Ace
get the
is queuing it up, actually.
Yep.
But he's
very
far away.
Opting to prioritize the Lincolns against the Spirit Breaker.
All right, Aster smoking up. Have the Aegis.
My God. How are they ever going to come in unannounced, though? Like, do they find it? They might actually find an angle here with no mines.
Okay, they do find Celery to start things out. He's pretty tanky, as we've talked about.
Ideal.
Instant sheep onto Morph. Monet will back away for the time being, but triple coil right now. Gaming Gladiators seem to be fine to just fight right here, though, as Baboka getting pounded will pop the cheese. Apparently they gave it to him, and he's going to die. Meanwhile, Dyrachyo on the other side, on top of Monet, the double BKB activated, but the bash is there, and Monet will lose the Aegis. Siamese Cat going down the right clicks of Quinn. That's going to be an easy one for Gaming, as they have lost 0 members of their team so far. And there's the Hex onto Sumail, the Harpoon back, but he does get the Yules off. Gets the Blink as well. Can they actually find him? It doesn't look like it. Charge now onto Dyrachyo. Do they actually want to turn this around, or is this just to try to save Sumail?
Yeah, and will Baboka get out from this? Looks like it. Maybe. Maybe
Baboka,
not.
Silenced up.
It's a dieback if they get him here.
Yeah, Harpoon back into the right clicks, down for 2 minutes.
And Tofu is defending the base alone. They could definitely get something out of this now in this 5v2 situation. You do have the buyback on Undying and Darkseer, but...
Oh, Sumail.
Okay, well,
taking out the wave. Yeah, that's one way to definitely delay this.
It feels like Gaimin could honestly take Rax through backdoor, though.
Potentially. They know that Sumail's in this area. They're pinging it out. They really want to kill him. If he's able to waste this much time and survive, that's pretty huge for Aster.
He will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the way Aster engaged that fight, right? It almost looked like Gaimin wanted this to happen. They're kind of like offering up Celery as a bait. He's stupidly tanky for a Rubik. Like, look at his items. He has 4K health. Halberd, Yules, Solar Crest, Lincolns, and the Trickster Cloak. So, like, this...
Yeah, it's insane.
It's not enough. You actually can't go on this guy if the coverage is behind. They get... I mean, this is a pretty decent coil, but... Dyrachyo getting in the backline and getting that double rupture just really seals the deal for me. I feel like at this point you can't recover the fight anymore. You have 2 heroes immobile as your Spirit Breaker's getting killed off, and now that you finally get to move, it's too late.
Yeah, Monet actually has a pretty nice vac wall, but it came too late.
It's too late. The fight is already lost here. It has.
I mean, it's interesting that I would have to watch that fight again at some point, but They had the coil on 3 heroes. They were all standing. I feel like that's a back wall for...
Yeah, there might have been
an amazing back wall.
I think that's where Dyrachyo really came in clutch, though, with the Bloodseeker flanking in there and finding those ruptures. Stopped Aster from accessing and getting more out of that.
All right, well, Aegis is gone. Refresher, was that used? It's not on the Darkseer right now. I don't see on anybody. And we know that one of the cheeses was used by the cow. They still have 1 remaining on Sumail, of course.
Does the refresher chart not show like the cheese in the UI up there?
I don't remember.
I feel like it should if it doesn't.
Yeah, Buka, get on that shit.
Yeah, get it done.
Noob.
Get it done. 10k lead for gaming. Don't really care about the gold though.
No.
This is all about buybacks. It's all about initiation. It's about Aegis. And it's about
Quinn's reaction as well.
Who fares better in the chaos. And I just have to say, this Bloodseeker is becoming a massive, massive problem for Aster. I feel like they don't have solutions for Dyrachyo right now.
Yep.
He runs into them with this huge barrier. He is stupidly tanky. 4.3k health, 27 armor, the barrier from Blood Mist. Bashes the crap out of everyone he wants. Double rupture on heroes that are very mobility based. I actually, I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking Gaimin are probably winning this game at this point? Like, they're mega'd and they've taken no barracks.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But it just, for me, the writing on the wall here is Radiant win. And I know the graph isn't saying it, but everything for me, this feels like one of, it's just, you know, sometimes you just have that feeling this is just one of those games, right?
Yeah.
It is so hard to push for Aster. Even with every advantage in the book, they can have 2 cheeses, Aegis, Refresher Shard. The conditions they have to find to fight are almost impossible to deal with. There's just so much random garbage on the ground. So many heroes that are proving to be a problem. And they themselves, we haven't really talked about this, they're actually running into damage issues. Sumail is not scaling that much anymore. He's not hitting that hard. The Morphling is getting controlled every fight. So what do you really have in the tank to kill people with? It's a vacuum wall. And that's just not good enough. The wall illusions are not lethal anymore to any of these heroes. They're way too tanky. So that is
true.
An issue.
Well, they got the AoE Surge, which will now synergize with the Shard.
Yeah, so they can surge out both of their ruptured heroes as fast as possible.
Yep, that's good synergy.
Yeah.
Quinn, his next talent's actually going to be pretty important, I think. The Refraction can be cast while disabled.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good. As finally, I was waiting for this Ags to be picked up. The charge is going to be a mega low cooldown now.
Yep. Barrier 500 all damage. Okay, I've never seen this talent before.
Bulldoze 500 all damage barrier. Huh.
Interesting.
That's kind of random.
I guess one silver lining here for Aster is there's not that much pressure on them in a way, right? Like, you're in this very high pressure inherent situation, but winning this game is not important for your future in the tournament, so you might be willing to take risks that you wouldn't otherwise do, and that can be both good and bad. But looking at Boboka's camera, he doesn't seem very stressed out. I think he's kind of just vibing, you know?
Yeah.
I was having a laugh before, smiling. They're setting up for Roche. They're vibing with it. They're chilling.
Your job is to spot planar pocket being used to take rupture.
Yeah.
Or he just gets ruptured himself. Then.
Yeah, I feel like he just wants to rupture him anyway a lot of the time, so I don't know. Dude, there's so many mods. Oh, there are ways of nerfing techies. This could be one of them.
Yeah, he's pretty
strong.
Oh
my god.
I mean, look at the mini-map, dude. It's absurd.
They're missing eyes in the forest. Then
True.
we'll have the whole package. My god, man.
He's not interested in putting them in the middle, though, of his base, by the towers.
That's right. That's where they have the TA traps.
Yeah, this is really difficult to get into.
It's kind of funny how many he's placed toward their own fountain. It's like
as if there's a Magnus.
In anticipation that Aster are going to dive them to the ends of the earth.
Well, we have another Roche for Aster that is uncontested.
Yep.
Another Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shard. They don't want to wait for daytime.
If there was any game for a block, this is the one.
Well, who... Okay.
You have full map control. You have 2 cheeses.
Greater Healing Lotus on Baboka. For now, okay, charging onto Dyrachyo.
Nowhere alone.
He's getting the blood right off. Gonna pop the BKB and try to right-click his way through this, but he's not gonna be able to get off the BKB at all, and he's just dead.
Wait, what?
Interesting decisions.
Out farming in the jungle, no teammates even remotely close.
He does have buyback.
Sure, but what?
I don't know, Cinder.
What was the cost benefit there?
I don't. Killing creeps.
I mean, I guess, but...
And we're approaching 60 minutes, so the Tier 5 items might have a big impact on this game if Aster are not able to finish the game here, but...
All right, it's time to play Minesweeper.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't just go really fast in.
It's fucking New Year's Eve, boys! Let's go! Woo! Everything is blowing off. We took 1 million damage from mines. There's traps going off. We just need some...
Back to base.
More mines.
One of the few alt chats from Celery that you'll ever see. Okay, the coil actually going to be popped right away. The mines are just continuing to explode. And the grab ally used for the time being. They're not going to buy back yet on Dyrachyo. They really want to force this. Back into the wall. There's the buyback from Dyrachyo. Can they get something out of this? The AoE surge coming out, but there's the rupture. They're going to kill the tombstone first and potentially re-aggress. But Aster happy with the buyback.
Oh my god, that's hysterical.
And back to laying mines.
It was like a concert.
60-minute items are upon us. What are the good ones this game? Okay, I'm going to say not Meteor Hammer. What's it called? Skyfall? Fallen Sky? Got there eventually.
Skyfall, isn't that a James Bond movie?
Fallen Sky on Sumail, I think, would be the best item because you could just kill the buildings slowly. In a game like this, I actually think that's the best item. I wish we could see what their choices were. Let's see what he chooses. I mean, somebody like Ace will probably want the refresher one, whatever that's called, Ex Machina. Yeah. So Arcanist armor, interesting. On Puck, huh. Okay. Typically you'd see that on the Darkseer or Undying.
Yeah.
It does give, I believe, crazy magic resist as well, right?
20%. It's okay.
It's not crazy then. 5 armor, 20% magic resist, which is okay. He's actually going to swap it back for Timeless Relic, and of those two, I agree that you would want the Timeless Relic.
What were his options?
Yeah, his options must have been terrible. So Dyrachyo with the Ex Machina.
XXS weighing his options.
Of course, Dyrachyo needs to actually cast BKB this time to get full value out of the Ex Machina. Book of Shadows. Okay. Mirror Shield.
The Book of Shadows.
This one is hard to gauge. Like, in theory, it's really strong.
Yeah.
But it's just completely dependent on how well you cast it. Oh, wow. We're actually going to see a new item, Cinderin. Revenant's Brooch on Sumail.
Another Mirror Shield. Aster. All right. This is about as big of an advantage as you can get. They have Aegis Cheese.
Yeah, Quinn showing himself. There's the Waning Rift initiation. They're going to back off. It's all about poking and prodding. How many Tier 5s do Gaiman have? Just the one?
Just the one for now, I think. They haven't had access. Which is why this is a good power play from Aster. Like, take advantage before the Tier 5s come out for the enemy team. 2 Mirror Shields. Book of the Dead.
Yep, you can see they're just wandering around randomly.
Rupture.
Rupture comes out onto Monet. Not going to be used anywhere. Okay. Vac Wall, double BKB now. The Hex onto Quinn, but he's going to be able to walk this off. They're not really doing much damage right here. As Gaiman are just able to stand their ground. But there's the charge onto Dyrachyo. That's the big kill. Remember, he pops his BKB, has the Ex Machina still. But that will be a dieback if they're able to grab him. So that should be their main target. Building's not really taking any damage at all, as many traps still remain. Extra tombstone attacks to die, very important for grab ally.
Yep.
Protect your ally that's grabbed. MKB now on Quinn, as Aster just too afraid to really do anything. I can't blame them. Aegis is about to expire as well, so they don't really get much.
It's gone.
Double cheese, though. Are they going to wait for their 6th Roche?
This is a bit of a heads up. This is how it started.
There's a double damage in the top river as well, but they're not going to see it. Oh, the sheep onto Dyrachyo, the charge to follow, but the counter initiation's coming. Dyrachyo gets saved. That's his second BKB, by the way. Wind Waker's going to save Sumail, and it looks like Ace is going to be the first to fall in this engagement. Sumail, though, he's disarmed, able to get out just barely. No, he dies and buys back in the game. He'll be back shortly, but Dyrachyo is the big kill. Die back for him. Techies dies as well, will buy back, and they're next to their fountain with all these mines that they have to sweep. Quinn dies, buys back as well. So now it's a 4 versus 5 in favor of Aster, still with the double cheese. They get both tier 4s. And the fortification's a little bit too early. Ace now focusing on the Undying. He's going to get surged. And Aster with a major advantage now. Halberd applied to Monet. Okay, he's actually able to dodge that thanks to the Eulers, but Monet's taking the massive amount of damage. Attribute shifting away, but the stolen charge looks like it was canceled. Big waveform comes in. And Monet able to get out in time as well, as Quinn is going to be CC'd for the time being. Still right next to his fountains. Now they can focus the Ancient without having to worry about anything else. And this looks to be the end of game number 2. Finally, as Aster should take it, and they do.
Oh my
in 64 minutes. Goodness gracious.